Jen, from your perspective, how do you strike that right balance between moving fast and building responsibly, especially when you need to factor in things like governance and security and AI readiness?
Yeah. So let me put a myth to that. Speed and governance are not a trade-off. Okay. So when security, lineage, and policy compile into every node of the pipeline, governance and agents stop being opposite. So moving fast is primarily achieved by automating everything that should be repeatable, right? And moving responsibly means you bake AI governance and security into those automations from day one. So never try to build it as like a bolt on. That's where we see too many customers fail. For too many teams who skip this guardrail and rush and build an MVP, then we see they stall at the production gate and sometimes they even quit. From our Arivonix client perspective, we see our clients avoid this trap with some five basic habits. First is like you work in this single federated governed workspace. So here you design every step using either like a low-code transformation, ML blocks, GenAI prompts, your endpoints, but you build this in a very single federated government workspace. Every block automatically inherits the lineage, the role policy, the encryption. So governance is pretty much literally being written as you draw the flow. And second, you visualize first and materialize only when latency or cost demand. And this is something I even answered a little back. Like, I mean, customers try to pull all the data into so called one lake and spend like a 6 months or even a year to bring the data into one lake. So avoid that. You first try to visualize everything and query in place. And at the later, when performance needs it or a cost for cost reason, you can toggle to cache the hard part, right? Like this also helps on the AI governance where the sensitive data never leaves the domain until unless it is approved, right? Like, and even if it is replicated, it has to be properly cataloged. Third, you need to use as much as possible, like the pre-vetted agentic AI block. So this is where like we also help to all the non-data scientists where they can drag and drop like a simple agentic AI blocks like a transformer health or like a load spike predictor like a. So this will help them to get the solution by afternoon rather than like going through this over 3 to 6 months period. And there is another thing like see, it's not just getting fast. You also need to now think from the AI governance perspective where like when every block ships it comes up with this bias check, the explainability, and audit hooks. That is something very important. When you try to build on your own, you may need to rebuild everything again, especially from the transparency side, from the reliability side, and that will slow you down. And fourth, the practice that we see our customers follow is like you productize the data through the pre-built governed channel. Either that is a REST API or a SQL clean room, or like you want to expose that as a chatbot or AI search bar. Like if you try to use all within that system that already has like a pre-baked AI governance, so it gets you fast and also it makes you to make sure you are in a satisfied channel, right? Like, and as it enforces the RDSE, the masking, and basically there's no rogue endpoints, no drift, anything. And last but not least, like I mean, you automate the drift and schema management. So the platform should detect any new columns, like the example I gave before, like where the Celsius and Fahrenheit changes was quietly detected and immediately it is rolled out to the production. So the platform should detect the new column changes or the payload shapes and ask the owner to accept or reject. But everything should happen in minutes, not in a sprint. And if you see the bad data, you have to have all the option to quarantine the bad data, so it never becomes a silent feature or a compliance finding, right? Like if you put all these five habits together, and uh, immediately speed becomes a configuration choice, not a governance gamble, right? Like that's how you move fast and stay audit ready from the first prototype to the full production.
I like it. Thank you. And again, I just wanted to really quick recap here. So you mentioned one, have that federated governed workspace. And I like that. The way I think about it is having this universal remote control. maybe to those of you that are too young to remember, but you have all these devices and you just now have one remote instead of multiple, one for each one, that you can control all of them at once. So that gives you a lot of flexibility and scalability too. Second, virtualizing first. Third, having these pre-vetted agentic AI blocks, and I feel like this is starting to become a must-have. Fourth, to make sure that you're prioritizing data through built-in governed channels. And five, automating this drift and schema management.